Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone that rule well. Salutations to the men of the hopeful and sincere elect. This is Marcus out, another edification for the elect's sake. Alright, and I'll get straight into it. Alright, so a while back I did a video called The Black Sheep. Alright, and basically, I was speaking about, like, growing up in the world and coming in the truth. You always felt different. Alright, you always felt different. You always felt left out in the world. You always felt hated. You always felt pressured, like, like the world was against you. Like you just didn't fit in. Alright? And guess what? The reason for this is because the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, chose us to be his servants. Alright? Chose us to be prophets. So we were different from the world. As Yahweh Shai said, you are not of this world. Alright? So I want to get straight into it. Guess what? Yahweh Shai was a black sheep. Alright? And we're going to get into it. This is John chapter 15, verse 18. It says, if the world hate you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. It says, if you are of the world will love his own. So if you are of the world, you'll have, like, great love in the world. People have, love to be around you. Now, guess what? And some of us, we might have been that way in the world, but as soon as we came into the truth, guess what? We lost that. The world started hating us. But for some of us, I can speak for myself, guess what? From in the world was hated. All right? Your family against you, your friends against, everybody always, have something against you. They can't explain it. It's not something that you do. It's just you. It's just you being you. They just, sometimes you just being irksome to them. You just different. You just standing up. They just at times don't want to be around you. And guess what? It's because the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, chose us from out of the world to be his prophets. All right? It says, if you are of the world will love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hated you. So because Yahweh Hashem Yahushai chose us out of the world hate us. The world has a problem with us, and it's a spiritual thing. This whole thing is spiritual. So the hatred they had against us, they can't explain it. It's just within them. Like, sometimes you might just see somebody and say, you know what, my spirit just don't take that person. That is it. It's something spiritual, but they can't understand it, but it was written. So it's here for our learning. All right? It says, verse 20, it says, remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. So guess what? Yahweh Shai was persecuted. Yahweh Shai was cast out. Then the scripture saying John 16, the time will come that they will cast you out of the temple. All right? They're going to have a problem with you. They had a problem with Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai was a black sheep. All right? So what the scripture said in Philippians 1:28, it says not only to believe in him, but also to suffer for his sake. So just like Yahweh Shai was persecuted for being a black sheep, we're going to be persecuted for being a black sheep. Like if you look at the story, I believe is Black Swan, its name, or the ugly duckling, if I'm not mistaken, when they were young, all the ducklings, all these swans, they were white, but this one particular chick was black. All right? But then guess what? Whereas they grew, it grew to be very beautiful. It surpassed their expectations. And there's the same thing with the men of the elect. As the scriptures rightfully said, a prophet is without honor save in his own tongue. All right? A prophet is without honor save in his own tongue, is in his own country. So especially people who know you, they're not going to accept you. They're going to have a problem with you. All right? They're going to have a problem with you. And it's something spiritual. It's something that they can't explain because why? The scripture said good is set against evil. All right? So just remember, when you feel hated, when you feel pressured, when you think about how people are against you in this truth, or before you came in this truth, people were against you, and it increased as you came into the truth. Just remember, Yahweh Shai was a black sheep. Just remember that. And there's the road of a righteous man. All right, there's the road of a righteous man to be hated. All right. This is Matthew chapter 21 verse 42. Yahweh said unto them, did ye never read in the scriptures, the stone which the builders rejected, the same is become the head corner, the head of the corner. This is the Lord's doing, and is marvelous in your eyes. All right, so guess what? Yahweh Shai was the stone that the builders cast away. Yahweh Shai was a black sheep, and the builders cast him away. The Pharisees and the scribes and the chief priests, they cast away Yahweh Shai. But guess what? He has become the chief cornerstone. The one rejected has become the most loved. And it's the same thing that happened with the men of the elect. The one that they cast away, the scripture said we are the offscouring of all people. All right, we are the filth of the earth. So the one that the whole world hated, the one that the family cast down, the one that the family rejected, the one that they hated in the family. Hey, take a look at Jacob's sons. They hated Joseph without cause. All right, because Joseph was beloved of his father, his brothers hated him. All right, because of his dreams, they hated him. But look what happened. They actually bowed down to him. He was the chiefest out of all of them in Egypt. He was the one that the Most High Yahweh Shem Shai used to save their life. The one that was most hated. All right? And guess what? The ones that most hated in this society are the ones that the Most High had called and ordained to be prophets to preach unto the nations, to wake up the elect. All right? As the scripture said, my servant shall be greatly extolled. All right? So the shame, the scripture said, for your shame you shall have double. So the shame that we're going through right now is not compared to what we're going to receive in the kingdom. All right? So just hold strong. Don't let, that hatred and the envyings, don't let that turn you from the truth. Because that is just part of the road that we are to walk. Yahweh Shai walk that road. All right? And look where Yahweh Shai is sitting at the right hand of glory. All right? Yahweh Shai was hated. Yahweh Shai was cast away. Yahweh Shai was a black sheep. But look where he is right now. And guess what? The same road the elect had to walk through. All right? So your family gonna be against you. Guess what? You might be on a job and you realize that your boss always picking on you in particular. You might do something and your boss down your throat, but then somebody might do something of the same magnitude or even worse, and the boss have little to nothing to tell them. So you just feel, pressured. All right? You feel that like the boss have something in particular against you, but guess what? He has something against you that himself can't explain. It's all spiritual. All right? It's all spiritual. All right? Just remember that. It's all spiritual. This is Judges chapter 11 verse 1. It says, now Jephthah the Gileadite was a mighty man of valor, and he was the son of an harlot. And Gilead begat Jephthah. So Jephthah was an Israelite, but his mother was an harlot. And Gilead's wife bare him sons, and his sons grew up. And they thrust out Jephthah and said unto him, thou shalt not inherit in our father's house, for thou art the son of a strange woman. But guess what? That was their brother. You understand? That was their brother. But the other brothers felt some enmity towards him. They hated him. And guess what? At the end of the story, the same Jephthah they cast off was the one that they had to call to deliver them, to be a ruler over them, to deliver them. All right? From the enemy. The same Jephthah. So guess what? The same one in the family that the family hate, that the family cast off, is the same one, if the Lord will, that they're going to see going up in the chariots and reigning over the tribes of Israel. All right? The same one that rising up right now to preach this word unto them. All right? The same one that they hated is the same one that Yahweh Shem Shai loved and chose. So just remember that the Most High chose you. He didn't choose them. The world hates you because Yahweh Shem Shai chose you. So guess what? Being a black sheep is not as bad as you may think. All right? Once it's being a black sheep in righteousness, once it's being a black sheep for the Lord's sake, is not as bad as you think. Because at the end of it, it have much glory in it. It have much glory in it. All right? This is Psalms. This is Psalms chapter 69 verse 7. It says, because for thy sake I have borne reproach. Shame had covered my face. Yeah, for the Lord's sake we're going through this. For the Lord's sake we're being cast off. For the Lord's sake we've been an offscoring of all people. It says, I am become a stranger unto my brethren and an alien unto my mother's children. All right? So some of us, it was happening from sins in the world, and some of us, it happened in the truth. That we start to realize that our family starting to separate themselves from us. The scriptures rightfully said that in Luke 6. It said, the time will come when they shall separate you from their company for the Lord's sake. All right? And guess what? All of us experience that from time to time. That is why really and truly the only people we're supposed to really be socializing ourselves with is the brethren. Because the scripture said, be around men that like-minded, who will sorrow when thou sorrow. So we know each other's pain because we're going through the same thing. All right? We're going through the same thing. It says, for the zeal of thine house hath eaten me up, and the reproaches of them that reproach thee are fallen upon me. So the reproach of them that reproach Yahweh Hashem Yahushai fallen upon us. So the servant is not above his master. Yahweh Shai was a black sheep, means his servants going to be black sheep also in this world. But chosen and approved and beloved and elect of the Most High Yahweh. All right? So just keep that in mind. The world hates us, but Yahweh Hashem Yahushai love us. All right? Just remember that. All right? This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 49, verse 1. It says, listen, O isles, unto me, and hearken, ye people from far. Yahweh had called me from the womb, from the bowels of my mother had he made mention of my name. So from the womb, the Most High chose us. He had made my mouth like a sharp sword, and in the shadow of a hand had he hid me, and made me a polished shaft. In his quiver had he hid me, and said unto me, thou art my servant, O Israel, in whom I will be glorified. So the Lord gonna be glorified in us. Paul said that in Philippians, whether it's death or life, the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai gonna be glorified in his body. And it's the same with all the elect. The Lord, be that we part of the hopeful elect, the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai gonna be glorified in our body. So the Lord said, thou art my servant, O Israel, in whom I will be glorified. The Lord chose us from the womb to be his servant, and will be glorified in us. And this is a great honor. All right? So forget the world hating you or loving you. Just remember, the one you have to seek approval of is Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. All right? This is the final precept here. This is Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5. It says, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee and ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. All right? So the Lord knew us from the womb. This wasn't something by chance. The Lord prepared us from the womb. From his spirit, the Lord sent us down in the womb so that when we grow up, we're going to be prophets. So when you realize that you're born and you're the only child that your mother put up for adoption, all right? Or you're the one that the mother always come, she always had this problem with, you remind me of your father, she just hate you. Or the father just dislike you. Or he being good to his other children, but he being hard on you for no reason. Your teacher always picking on you. Your friends always teasing you. Your boss always against you. Guess what? It's all because Yahweh Hashem Yahushai chose you, ordained you, and love you. So being a black sheep ain't that bad, as long as it's for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai's sake. Alright? So with that, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Kodash. And I give double honors to the apostles of great men so not rule well. Salutations to the men of the hopeful and saints elect. This is Makazar from the Trinidad camp saying Shalom.